tennis preacher, prophet, psychic, and pastor, coming back at you with another video. Okay, people, this is a special spotlight. Even before I thought about doing a channel, I always wanted to cover this particular topic here. Let me tell you where this topic come from, or why I thought of the topic. Last year I was in a just a regular public park, sitting down on a bench from resting from playing tennis, and we got into some discussion about how great Ivan Lendl was. I believe Ivan Lendl is one of the greats, and one of the top greats, and not great as Federer and Nadal, but he's right under there. Ivan Lendl was #1 for 5 consecutive years. He won 8 majors. He also, Federer, to show you how great Ivan Lendl is, when Federer just won the Shanghai, Federer just tied Ivan Lendl's record of 94, I think 94 total titles. So, tournament titles. So that tells you Federer just tied Ivan Lendl's record. So I took and said Ivan Lendl is probably ranked like number 8. I just gave a number like that. And this guy said, no, he's not. Ivan Lendl ain't that great. Because he lost in the finals 8 times. Now, y'all listen. Ivan Lendl got 8 majors, but he lost in the finals 8 times. Now, let me just bring that 8 losses in perspective. So that's what I want to talk about. Okay, 3 of the early in Ivan Lendl's career, he did choke. He choked in like the finals. So 3 of those losses was like from choking. Okay, Ivan Lendl did have a long career. The other 5 losses was just like regular losses. You know how Nadal and Federer and the Djokovic and McEnroe, you just lose. I mean, where they go 5 sets, they were just regular losses. But 3 of the losses were from choking. And Ivan Lendl, early in his career, he couldn't handle the pressure. So he did get a sports psychologist. I remember this. I was actually watching tennis at that time. And then Ivan Lendl, hey man, he solved his mental pressure issues, and the rest was history. Then he went on a roll, won 8 majors, was #1 for 5 consecutive years, and it's one of the greats. So that's the Ivan Lendl. This video is not to be on Ivan Lendl, but I just want to make that clear. Now, you're probably saying, Tennis Prophet, what is the video on then? This is the video. The video topic is this here. How should we measure when a person loses in the finals? How important is that? In other words, should that be considered to be negative, or should it be a positive? Let's just say, for example, when a person loses in the finals, they get half of the prize money that the winner gets. So I guess it depends on how bad you lose and what's the circumstances. Like, for example, let's just say if Federer was facing, let's say Federer and Nadal with the Djokovic, if they were facing a qualifier, a person who qualified for the tournament, and if Federer, the Djokovic, or the Nadal lost against a qualifier, that'll be a bad loss in the finals. But let's turn it around. Let's say the qualifier, he lost against Nadal or Federer in the finals. People would say, hey man, that qualifier did good. He made it to the finals. So the thing is, how should we measure a finalist's performance, or how many points, or how many? Let me put it this way: if we're determining how great somebody is, how much positive weight should we give to them if they lose in the finals? So I think that's my point right there. Okay, so this is the example I'm going to use here. Let's say Roddick. Roddick got 1 major, but he lost in the finals 4 times against Federer. So I've heard a lot of tennis fans, they write that off. Oh, Roddick, he ain't no good. He lost in the finals 4 times against Federer. Hey, well that means, listen, first of all, he didn't lose. He lost against arguably the greatest player of all time. And number 2, he made it to the finals, so that means he was the 2nd best player. So that should count for something. So y'all get me now? So let's say we got Roddick versus, say we're going to determine who's greater between. So Roddick got 1 major, and let's say Cilic got 1 major, and Del Potro got 1 major. Now I know Cilic, he was just in the finals. Cilic has been in the finals 1 time. So who's greater? So both of them got 1 major. So it's easy. Roddick is the greater player because at least I don't care if he lost against Federer. I don't care who he lost against in the finals. Losing in the finals count for something. That means you was great enough to go through the quarters, the semis, and at least you made it to the finals. So the finals should count for something. I think that's the purpose of this video, is to let people know the finals does count. And when you determine who the greater players are, and when we start ranking players, how many times you've been in the finals, it should count. So Ivan Lendl, for example, he got 8 majors. Okay, so somebody would say, well, wait a minute, what are you going to do with those 8 losses in the finals? And forget the 3 that I don't care, I'm talking about all 8. You got to probably give him at least 2 more majors. I think that's an equivalent. It's 8 finals. If losing in 8 finals equivalent to winning 2 majors? I think it is. I mean, that's debatable. So Ivan Lendl, you could argue that he's probably worth 10 to 11 majors. Okay? Because he was in 8 finals, so that means he was the number 1 or number 2 player 8 years during that time. So even if he didn't win, he was still a top dog. Okay, people? Magic Man, please comment below. What do y'all think about that? When you look at a person losing in the finals, do you look at it as the cup half empty, which is negative, or half full, which is positive? I mean, you can look at it both ways. Like I said, it depends on the circumstances. Did you go 5 sets and lose, which would be great? Or did you just collapse and got beat 6-1, 6-1, 6-1? So it depends. But I do think, even if it's a bad loss, I think that loss should count for something. Okay, people, Magic Man, tennis preacher, prophet, psychic, signing off. Have a nice day.